replay board hasn't yet been shown to the drivers, and it's been replaced, I think, by the 5-second board, so we are going to go racing.
We are indeed, with that gap on the front of the grid where Ben Powney is missing. He's also got his car out of the way. The red lights go on, and they go out, and
Lee Morgan's not got away, Ian.
Lee Morgan's not got away.
Oh, Dangore's gone off, trying to avoid him.
But it's Ed.
And he spun, Dangor spun.
So Dangor spins, and he just avoids being collected by the number 9 car, but out in front. It was a good start by Lee Falkingham as they head up through Rich's corner for the first time and towards Wilson Hairpin. You can see there Dangor is trickling away in the background, but for the lead is Eddie Falkingham there that leads Dan Clues in second. Rob Wellham up to third place, Matthew Booth in fourth, Billy Starter in fifth, and Tom Gadd in sixth place. So the top six, top seven indeed, right together as they head through Palmer for the first time. Now, did Dangor get that car fully fired up in the end?
Lee Morgan's still on the grid, so he's out. So this is
and the race is being stopped.
Right.
Red lights are on. The race is being stopped.
If that didn't happen, this would have brought the other two right into the championship, wouldn't it? Matt Booth and Rob Wellham, who were around 30 points behind. But Lee Morgan won't be allowed to take the restart, surely, will he? Because of the red flag. So this F1000 championship, it just keeps adding drama, doesn't it? Yesterday, you had the two championship contenders, main championship contenders, in strife with car problems, and then straight away off the start of this race, championship leader Lee Morgan stalls. He can't get the car back going, and Dangor here, he's out the car as well, so I don't think either of these drivers are going to take the start of the restarted race. We've got a replay of this to have a look at. So you can see Lee Morgan there from the third row of the grid, just does not get away. If you look in the background, Dangor, his main rival, was blinded, had to take to the grass, and he couldn't control the car across the grass and spun, and I don't think he was able to I don't think he hit anything, but he's obviously not been able to continue. So absolute drama in the F1000 Championship. You couldn't script this, could you, Ian?
Well, no, absolutely. So Lee Morgan's car is being pushed off the grid. Dangor is out of his car. And the reason for the red flag, of course, was because Lee Morgan's car was stranded on the grid. And that clearly wasn't a very safe situation. Now the marshals with Lee pushing it down the pit lane. Lee's pushing it in a reasonably urgent fashion.
So Matthew Booth is 27 points behind the championship leader. Rob Wellham is 39, so Wellham can't take the lead of the championship here, but he can absolutely keep in contention. It's very likely here, and we are going to have 4 drivers able to win the championship going into the final race of the season. And if Matthew Booth wins this race, he will lead the championship after coming into the weekend 41 points behind.
Absolutely right. So you would think at this point, the heart of Lee Morgan and Dangor, it must have sunk right down through their boots, because it's absolutely disastrous. I mean, the best thing about that situation was that nobody collected Lee Morgan, in particular Dangor, because he was the one that did have to take quite serious avoiding action, and it could have been a nasty situation. Again, worth talking about the speed marshal lights that we couldn't see from that replay, but no doubt there'd have been flashing and indicating on the rear of Lee Morgan's car that he was stationary, and that warned the other drivers behind him that there was a car ahead that wasn't mobile and that they would need to try and avoid it. You can see the light on the back of the car. So that's the light that it's used for that purpose. It's used when a car spins to let another driver know there might be a car in a dangerous position. But also it's used as part of the Code 60 procedure when that's used, as it is in F1000, which is sort of in lieu of a safety car situation. Dangor's car even needs a lift. He's looking rather ruefully on in his Mattel Cars overalls.
Looks like there's urgency towards Lee Morgan's car, but he shouldn't be allowed to take the restart, should he, as the cause of the red flag?
Well, we'll have to see how that one all pans out. There's Dangor looking on, the 39-year-old economist from London. The car's being shown back onto it. You notice the marshal's got their hoods up now as well. And there's a spot of rain on our camera. There's not actually spots on our camera, on our commentary box window right now, but I guess it's just cold and chilly. Maybe that's why the marshals have got their hoods up.
That would definitely be me if I was there, Ian.
Okay. Is this why you're in the commentary box and not marshalling?
Billy Stiles can't get going now. He's stopped up there at Murray's, and of course he was going to start right near the front, wasn't he, on the second row of the grid. There's our pole man, though. That's Eddie Falkingham. He has had a best result of where this season. I get the right piece of paper would be rather helpful. Can you put that in?
Fifth.
Oh, there we go.
Fifth was his best result, well, it's still his best result of the season so far.
That was much better than any other result, so let's see if he can better that here. There's Dan Clues. The right-hand side of the grid is looking rather empty. because we haven't got Ben Powney at the moment. We haven't got Billy Stiles, and we haven't got Lee Morgan. So at this rate, Tom Gadd's got absolutely free reign up that side of the track.
Well, absolutely. I mean, it's a very strange situation. There's Dan Clews then. He's last year's champion. Not had the season he'd have liked this year. Just the one podium finish coming into this weekend. But Dan Clews, very much one of the front runners. You can see there the orange heart to put his name on the car as well. That, of course, in support of all of our marshals. A lot of those appeared on cars in the aftermath of that sad incident earlier this year when we lost Robert Foote, the marshal who was tragically killed in an accident at Brands Hatch. There's Matthew Booth in 65. He was the champion, of course, in 2019. He was also the Sports Specials champion in 2016 as well. And we're just hearing that we think it's going to be a 10-minute race, possibly.
Including the green flag lap.
Including the green flag lap.
So Lee Morgan's car is being worked on frantically, and Mattel cars are talking to the marshals down there, potentially protesting what might happen next.
Well, they ought not get involved, really. It's down to the officials to run the race meeting, of course. Dan Gore's car's been recovered, so that is away. There's 55, Nikita Abramov, in one of the TSR Team Sellers racing cars. Number 30 is Alok Yengar, and he's the Indian driver that's raced in the F1000 for several seasons. Adam Walker there in number 14, one of the privateer entries.
This is important, and Billy Stiles has got going, so he'll be able to take the restart. He's moving forwards.
Yeah, there is Billy now, and he was at a joint 11th with Adam Walker, actually, coming into this weekend in the championship. He's in one of the Jedi Racing Cars works entries, if you like. And there is sort of just leaning over the shoulder, effectively, of Tom Gadd there, in love of the TSR prepared cars. So we do have now one car on the left-hand side of the track, ahead of Tom Gadd. That's Billy Stiles.
So this race is probably going to be about 3 laps, isn't it?
It depends how fast the green flag lap is, really, doesn't it? So 1 minute board is shown. It's going to be a 10-minute race, but that will include the green flag lap, and that's important because we do need to make sure we move smartly through the day's racing. And obviously that red flag caused by an incident in this F1000 race, so appropriate that the race time gets abbreviated.
See comments on the live stream saying there's more drama in this than in Formula 1. I was thinking that,
well,
with the championship rivals both in strife.
Absolutely right. So green flag waves to get the warming up lap underway. And I don't think there's any more sign of rain at the moment, so should be all good to go.
Can't see from here how the Lee Morgan car's getting on. I don't know if you can see that from your vantage point.
They are working on it. Lee's not in it.
I think we're getting
scrutineers down there as well.
Our cameraman who's been doing a great job looking at the cars on the grid, I think he's heading in that direction, so we might get a view of that thing on our Alpha Live pictures in a moment or two. But yes, it's full-on drama in the F1000 Championship for 2021. Here we go, get some shots now. They've got the bodywork back on. Lee Morgan's getting back in the car, so that this might all be done, ready to take the restart if he's allowed, which presumably they think he is.
Which would be from the pit lane, of course.
Yeah, but there's points to be got here, isn't there?
Well, there is.
Top 16 finish will start to gain points when he gets in. I'm sure he's got the pace if the car works to do that. Good
work by the Perpetua Motorsport team. And he and Andrew Wheels are the two drivers that race within that team. There's Rob Wellham, local driver, in the number 5 car. He's been successful here at Snetterton over the past 2 seasons. And yesterday he was the runner-up to Tom Gadd, hoping to go one better than that in at least one of the day's remaining races. So it's a slightly shorter F1000 race that we're going to have. Eddie Falkingham leading them round on the green flag lap, not with any particular urgency, it must be said, because he's only now just coming out of Williams. It does slightly puzzle me sometimes why green flag laps are conducted as slowly as they are. To me, it's likely to fix the object off them. There we go. So weaving being done to get some heat into the slick tyres ahead of this race. So it's pole position for Eddie Falkingham, and then the next car that will be starting is number 1, Dan Clews, and then the next car starting after that is 41, Billy Stiles. Matthew Booth effectively starting 4th, Rob Wellham 5th, and Tom Gadd 6th, with some gaps ahead of them on the grid.
Now, I think if Lee Morgan gets into this race, there might be some quick reading of regulations, aren't there?
Yeah, let's see, it's going to be a blue book thing rather than anything else, MSUK regulations, but I'm not sure there's anything, well, we'll have to see if there's anything that explicitly covers it.
But the problem is, of course, you've got different rules in FIA racing and
what is
UK racing.
absolutely the right thing to do is for the team to make every effort to get the car out. That is what they do. I'm sure if Mattel Cars had been able to do that, they would have done exactly the same thing as well. They would have both made every effort to get their car out on track for the race, and you can then sort it all out afterwards. That's the right thing to do.
Yeah, hopefully it's not something that's sort of sorted out in front of the virtual style.
Anyway, we've got the cars coming back onto the grid then for the remainder of this race. It probably is going to be about 3 laps. I guess this is just a slim possibility they might squeeze 4 out, but probably not.
Well, they're rather quick, aren't they? Do 1 minute 50 round here. So it's going to be tight, isn't it?
Oh, and there, the number 9 car's got a problem. So it's got a broken wing, and that is Peter Legge, isn't it? So I don't know how that's happened.
I'm not sure he knows either.
I'm not sure he does, because he's not headed to the pit lane. He's headed onto the grid to start the race.
We're not going to have another delayed start or anything.
Well, I wouldn't have thought that would merit it, but we'll see how things go. We've got all of the cars on the grid. The 5-second board I can see is being prepared, so we might just squeeze 4 laps out of this one. There is the 5-second board, so very shortly the red lights will be turned on. Hopefully everyone gets away this time. Lights go out, and away we go.
Tom Gadd's not gone anywhere.
It's Tom Gadd that's not got away this time, but he has now, and he is into the race. So it's Eddie Falkingham leading, Dan Clues in 2nd place as they make their way up into Rich's corner for the first time. Lee Morgan is getting a push out of the pit lane to try and get into the race, which he does now. But it's Eddie Falkingham and Dan Clues that are making their way through Wilson Hairpin. They've got Billy Starnes right behind them, and Rob Wellham in 4th position. 5th is Matthew Booth as they head out of Wilson Hairpin down towards the left-hander at Palmer for the first time. But you've got Clues under pressure here from Billy Starnes for 2nd place.
Another slightly dramatic moment because Lee Morgan nearly stuffed it in the pit wall as he will spin out the pit lane. Anyway, race going for 2nd is close. Dan Clues with Rob Wellham, championship contender around the outside of Billy Stiles for 3rd. He gets through. He knows he's really got to win the race here to get as many points as possible. He's now on the tail of Dan Clues for 2nd place, but up front Eddie Falkingham doing a great start here, getting away. He knows it's a short race now they've got, so to build time here is going to be important. They turn their way through Augies. Black
and orange mechanical warning flag being prepared, I suspect, for number 9 Peter Legge, whose wing was hanging off, the rear wing was hanging off the back of that car as he joined the grid.
That's right, so Stiles, so he's fallen behind Wellham, other championship contender now, another one of them. That's Matthew Booth that's trying to pass him as they scream down towards Brundle, but it's Falkingham now being caught again by Clues and by Wellham. And here comes Matt Booth up the inside to pass Billy Stiles, so he's up into 4th place now, and he gets the car turned in through the Essex, through Nelson, and accelerates off the corner. Tom Gadd is flying after his slow start, looked like he wasn't going anywhere, but for the lead, Dan Clues looks up the inside, can't do it there. Gadd is still inside the top 10 amazingly, but for the lead of the race, Dan Clues couldn't quite do it. We've got 4 for the lead with Wellham and Booth at the back of the 4 trying to gain positions.
Yeah, and Eddie Falkingham, of course, not won a race in F1000 before, but he's doing well to lead here at the end of lap 1. He's got last year's champion behind him, but Clues is under pressure now from Rob Wellham. He goes alongside Dan Clues as they head up towards Rich's corner. He's on the outside line, but he sweeps around and into 2nd place there. Rob Wellham, number 5, he gets a very good run through the corner, and he's almost with the race leader now, Eddie Falkingham, and he's going to take the lead. Rob Wellham as they go into the Wilson Hairpin. Fantastic stuff from Rob Wellham. He goes into the lead, and Matthew Booth as well has got ahead of Dan Clues and into 3rd place.
Lee Morgan already battling for 16th place, so here he's getting himself into the points, so he's extending this margin out, but Rob Wellham doing everything he can do. He leads the motor race heading down towards the Agostini hairpin then on the 2nd lap. Here comes Matt Booth. He's going for 2nd now. Up the inside, Falkingham squeezes him a little bit, but Booth finds enough space and he goes through into 2nd place now. So Wellham and Booth in the positions where potentially we could have 4 drivers battling for the championship come the race this afternoon today in one of the fastest single-seater racing categories in the country, one of the biggest grids as well, and certainly the most competitive.
Oh, it's hugely competitive this season, the Swallow Hill Homes F1000 Championship, and it's a great advert for the championship as well. I'm sure we'll have more different drivers coming in next season. Tom Gadd, and that's Wellham, is it not? Well, Falkingham slowing.
One of them went wide because there was dust, but which one was it? Oh, it's not Wellham. So
It's Falkingham that was slowing, wasn't it?
Real shame for him, so he's dropped off the podium, but big scary moment there potentially for Rob Wellham fans.
Yeah, but Tom Gadd up to 4th position and all of that. There's Peter Laig's wing, which is making ever more of a bid for escape from the back of his Jedi.
This is a mighty drive by Tom Gadd, isn't it? From looking like he was going to stall, now to challenge him for the podium. What an amazing performance. Tom Gadd, surely he's a contender for the championship next year with this kind of speed he's shown at the end of this season, his first year of single-seater racing.
Definitely. He's not done as many races this season as he would have liked. Had a bout of COVID, which ruled him out for a little while, but he's back in it now, and he's going for 3rd place as they head up towards Rich's Corner, and he's through on the inside of Dan Clew, so Tom Gadd back into a podium position. And with 2 laps to go, including the one that they've just started, can he even challenge for the overall victory here?
Lee Morgan is into 15th, so that's, I think, 3 points. I think they get 1 more place at least.
And he's lapping on the same kind of pace as the leaders as well. He's in a 1:51.97 that time through.
Tom Gadd, the fastest driver out there, as you'd kind of expect, as his has his rate through the field would suggest. But he's there then in 3rd place, ahead of Dan Clews. Can he catch the top 2? They'll be hoping he cannot. Oh, big sides though from Eddie Falkenham after going so well on lap 1. It's going a little bit wrong for him now. He dropped to 7th there. So Nikita Abramov, he's having a good race, isn't he? In 6th position. He started 9th. He just missed out on the reverse grid for this race. So the cars make their way through or even what should be the penultimate lap.
Of course, the 2 leaders in the Clubman's Class Championship are not going to pick up points in. Ben Panics has not started the race, and Dan Clews is too high up the order in 3rd position overall. So 1 more lap to go at the end of this one. It's Rob Wellham then leading now from Matthew Booth in 2nd place. And Tom Gadd is chasing after them in 3rd. I think we are going to get the 3 of them disputing the lead on the final lap. Dan Clews 4th, Billy Starrs in 5th position.
Okay, and Booth getting closer to Weller. It looks like that might be the case, mightn't it? 7/10 was the gap at the start. Takes a much tighter line through Coram. We saw that yesterday, I think, from Weller. He takes a wide line, tries to carry as much speed through there as possible. But as you say, the 3 of them are together. Tom Gadd is amazing today, isn't he? At this weekend, absolutely flying, going after the top 2, and he does a 1:49.9, which is getting rather close to lap record territory, I think. It's about a second off, but absolutely brilliant stuff this is from Tom Gadd. Can he win the race? He's within a second of the top 2, and he's over a second quicker on the most recent lap.
Well, full-on black flag for Peter Laig now, but he's running in 19th position in any case with that broken wing. So it's Rob Wellham leading, Matthew Booth in 2nd, but Tom Gadd on this final lap chasing after them in 3rd place. I think he's going to struggle, isn't he, to get into 2nd. I think he'll just about catch Booth by the end of the lap, but passing him I think will be quite a different thing, because Booth, of course, the champion 2 years ago, is not going to make it easy for him. As we watch number 1, Dan Clews in 4th position, go quite deep into Agostini that time, chased by Billy Starrs and Nikita Abramov as well.
Lee Morgan's up to 13th, which I think is 5 points. So as it stands, the 4 drivers will be separated by 14 points heading into the race later on today.
Yeah, and that'd be what, 9 points he'd be ahead of Dan Gore in particular, I think, wouldn't it, off the top of my head?
Right, yeah, but Matthew Boo, where he is, will he be here sort into 2nd in the championship? Anyway, that's all to be decided, because there's still half a lap of racing to go, and Lee Morgan, he's got 5 seconds to make up, so I'm not sure if he'll gain any more positions. What about up front? Can Matthew Booth hang on to 2nd place? It's so important for him.
Well, it is. Rob Wellham, meanwhile, looks set to get his sort of annual win at Snetterton, at least what he gets every year, it seems, as they head out of Nelson towards the bomb hole. He's leading by a little bit more over Matthew Booth this time. Gadd is closer to Booth than Booth is to Wellham as they head towards Coram for the final time, but I don't sense we're going to get any changes in positions now in the final couple of corners. Into the left-hander they go at Murray's. They accelerate away, and it's the Rob Wellham car that is going to come through to take the checker flag and win the penultimate round of the Swallow Hill Homes F1000 Championship. He does a double-fisted punch of the air.
There's a car off at Coram, so that's another place for Lee Morgan, so that's going to be another point. If he got any higher than 12, who is the car that's gone off? It's Nikita Abramov, who he said was going to get, I think, one of his best results of the season, so he's not going to finish. Lee Morgan's 11th, so 11th is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 points, I think. Let's check that. So that's actually 11. Oh no, it's 7 points. So,
yeah, so meanwhile, it's Dan Clews that's come through to take 4th position. Billy Starrs 5th. Eddie Falkham in 6th. Adam Walker, good result for him in 7th place. Alan Bien got 8th. Matt Betts 9th, and Paul Butcher rounding out the top 10. Lee Morgan, as you say, in 11th position, gaining that spot when Nikita Abramov retired on the final lap.
He did get the fastest lap on that last lap, Lee Morgan, 1:49.84, but no points for that in this championship.
No.
So Lee Morgan is on 267, Matthew Booth on 258, Dan Gore on 254, and Rob Wellham on 251. 16 points separate the top 4 drivers in the championship heading into the final race. This is surely the closest ever conclusion to an F1000 championship.
Yep, and there's, of course, then another race to come later on for those cars and for the hot hatches and for the MX-5s that we saw earlier on as well. See if I can just bring you the results from that Swallow Hill Homes F1000 Championship race. Just 4 laps in the end, but Rob Wellham it was that took the victory by 7/10 of a second. So number 5 from number 65, Matthew Booth in second. Top Gad, number 12 was third. Fourth, number 1, Dan Clues. 5th, 41, Billy Stiles. 6th, 69, Eddie Folkingham. 7th, number 14, Adam Walker. 8th, number 30, Alok Yengar. 9th to number 88, Mark Betts. And 10th, number 42, Paul Butcher. For the back, Lee Morgan from the pit lane to 11th position in the space of 4 laps. Number 56. Max Windhauser, number 66, took 12th. Then Rob Bailey, Daniel Levy, Dax Ward, Kels Cole, 16th. Andrew Wheels, 17th. Peter Legge, 18th. And Nikita Abramov in 19th position. Well, not in fact classified, with the car stopping on the final lap over there at Coram. So that's the Swallow Hill Homes F1000 Championship. More racing to come this morning. We've got the K-Tech Racing Clio 182 Championship coming up next. And then we've got the Yokohama Mazda 7s as the last race before the qualifying session, which precedes the lunch break. There's Nikita Abramov getting back in. He's broken down. Jedi is going to be towed away by the Nissan pickup truck there. And we'll get back to the paddock, and hopefully the TSR team can get him back out for the next race, which is later on this afternoon. So he'll be towed away.
Lots of spectators here at Snetterton today, which is great to see on what is a chilly day, but a great day of racing we have here, don't we? Ian, we've only had 3 races, but that race felt like it consisted of quite a lot of things that happened.
Yes, lots of things happening with the red flag. Well, the drama even on the initial start as well, before the initial start with Ben Powney going into sort of retirement on the green flag lap. I wonder if that then sort of had the knock-on effect with Lee Morgan sitting on the grid a bit longer than he would have liked, and that caused him to not be able to get away from the line. And then that had the knock-on effect of Dan Gore swerving to avoid him, and Dan Gore retired. Whether that was in the end related or not, I'm not quite clear. But yeah, Dan Gore able to take the restart. Lee Morgan did from the pit lane and came through to take 11th place, while Rob Wellham and Matthew Booth did everything that they needed to and could do to finish as high up the order as possible to take first and second in that race and to keep the championship very much a 4-way fight going into this afternoon's final round.
If we thought that was close, the next race championship is even closer. So that's the drama is going to carry on, I think, here at Snetterton for this 750 Motor Club Finals Day. And so far, I think it's delivering, Ian.
It certainly is. Let's head down to Park Fermé now.